announcing the arrival of our guest of honor and speaker, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary of National Defense. He is accompanied by General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Commanding General, Philippine Army, Major General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, and Colonel Harold M. Cabunok, Infantry, Masters in Military Defense Studies, Commandant, Officer Candidate School, Initial Military Training Center, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army. Please be seated.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today we are honored to have you with us as we witness the graduation ceremony of the Officer Candidate Course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023. In today's ceremony, it is our pleasure to have with us Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary of National Defense.
Please be reminded to set your mobile phones to silent mode as soon as we begin with the ceremony. Also, while our guests may take pictures during the program, please refrain from moving, from blocking the center aisle and the main ceremonial areas. In case of emergency, you may use the middle and both side exits of this grandstand. Thank you.
Pinapaalalahanan po ang lahat na ilagay sa silent mode ang inyong mga mobile phone bago pa mag-umpisa ang ating programa. Gayun din sa mga kukuha ng larawan habang nagaganap ang programa, mangyaring iwasang makatawag pansin o makadulot ng abala, lalo sa gawing gitna ng pagdarausan ng seremonya. Pinapaalalahanan po ang lahat na sa oras ng panganib, maaaring gamitin ang gawing gitna at magkabila ang gilid na labasan ng bulwagang ito. Maraming salamat po.
May we also acknowledge the presence of the parents and guests of the graduating class, and to those who are watching through the video teleconference.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the graduation ceremony of the Officer Candidate Course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023. Please stand for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
At this point, may we call on Captain Marlon L. Antonio, Chaplain Service, Assistant Command Chaplain, to invoke the divine providence and guidance of the Almighty God.
Before I pray, let me read to you a passage from the book of Psalms, chapter 98, verse 1. It says, O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten you to the victory. Let us bow our heads as we seek the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, source of all wisdom, we reverently acknowledge your divine providence and greatness among us this afternoon as we bind ourselves together for the graduation ceremony of the Officer Candidate course, Talahiraya Class 59 of 2023. We thank you for bringing us safely here, for the gift of each person, and for the gift of life you have extended to us. We ask you to open our hearts and minds for us to understand the things that you want us to learn. Give us light and strength to know your will, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives. We come to celebrate, O Lord, the victory you have given to the students, because after a year of training, they are now standing full of pride to be recognized as full-fledged lieutenants of the Philippine Army. We know that it is by your grace and by your strength that they have finished the course. Please, Lord, continue to provide them faith and trust in you to persevere under trials as they embrace the new chapter of their military career. May they excel and work hard to equip themselves with sufficient skills, knowledge, and competencies to be aware and responsive to the needs of the Philippine Army, thereby making them effective channels and instruments of your grand design. Father, continue to bless the Commandant, Colonel Harold M. Cabonok, together with the officers and instructors of the Officer Candidate School, as they continue to mold the candidate officers in order to prepare them to lead the Philippine Army in the path of excellence and righteousness, dedicated to the call of duty and fidelity in their commitment to serve. We also pray, Father, for your special blessing and guidance to the leadership of our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Brown Jr., our Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, and our Trado Commander, Major General Luis Rex de Bergante, whom you have given greater responsibilities. We thank you also, Father, for the support of the parents and loved ones who are here today. Their presence are a testament of their pledge to inspire these precious young people, now and onwards, in fulfilling their dreams to defend our country. We beseech you, Father, to make us all useful and effective instruments of your peace. Where there is hatred and animosity, let us sow love. Where there is danger, security. Where there is division, unity. And finally, may we all be inspired and encouraged by the words of our honored guest, your chosen messenger and servant for this special occasion, our beloved Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Gilberto C. Choduro Jr. We ask this in your most holy name, we humbly pray. Amen.
Please be seated.
To formally start the program, may we call on Major General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, to deliver his welcome remarks.
Foremost, allow me to greet our VIPs in front, our guest of honor and speaker for this afternoon, the Honorable Gilberto C. Choduro Jr., Secretary of National Defense. Sir. The Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr. The Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. We also have the Commander of the Armor Division, Major General Facundo O. Palafox, the 4th. And we have the Chairman of the OCS Alumni Association, Brigadier General Incognito. We have also the Deputy Commander of TRADOC, Brigadier General Danilo Benavides. And the Commandant of the OCS, Colonel Harold M. Cabunok. The rest of Team HPA, Pangkat TRADOC, distinguished visitors, proud parents, and our graduating officer candidates, good afternoon. Welcome to this momentous occasion, the graduation rites that mark the culmination of months of hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment. Today, we gather to celebrate not just the academic achievements, but also the transformation of these exceptional individuals into leaders poised to serve and protect our nation. Each candidate before us has undergone rigorous training, both physical and mental, emerging as a testament to the resilience, the values instilled in them during their journey. As we witness these officer candidates receive their well-deserved accolades, let us reflect on the profound responsibility that comes with the honor they carry. The challenges they faced in their training are but a prelude to the challenges they will meet as leaders in the service. May their accomplishments inspire us all to strive for excellence, lead with integrity, and approach every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Today, we not only celebrate the achievements of these exceptional individuals, but also welcome them into the noble profession of those who have committed their lives to the selfless service of others. Once again, congratulations in advance. May your journey ahead be marked by success, courage, and unwavering dedication to duty. Welcome. Muli, maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang ating hukbong katihan ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang ating sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming us all to this momentous event.
At this juncture, may we call on Colonel Harold M. Cabunok, Infantry, Masters in Military Defense Studies, Commandant, Officer Candidate School, Initial Military Training Center, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, for the presentation of graduates.
Sir, as the Commandant of the Officer Candidate School, I have the honor to present to you 283 officer candidates of the Officer Candidate Course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023, composed of 235 males and 48 females. Recommend that they be declared graduates effective this date.
And now, for the declaration of graduates, may we request Major General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Commander of Training and Doctrines Command, Philippine Army, I hereby declare that the Officer Candidate Course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023, composed of 283 students, declared graduates effective today. Congratulations at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, sir. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause for the new graduates.
At this moment, We will now proceed with the distribution of awards to our graduates. May we request our guest of honor and speaker, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary of National Defense, together with General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Commanding General, Philippine Army, Major General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, Colonel Harold M. Cabunok, Infantry, Masters in Military Defense Studies, Commandant, Officer Candidate School, Initial Military Training Center, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, to proceed at the center stage to acknowledge the awards and certificates of the Officer Candidate Corps, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023.
Headquarters, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, Camp O'Donnell, Capas, Tarlac. General Order Number 688. Section 1, Declaration of Graduates. Following name, 283 officer candidates are declared graduates of Officer Candidate Course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023, conducted by the Officer Candidate School, Initial Military Training Center, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, Camp O'Donnell, Capas, Tarlac, from 20 December 2022 to 05 December 2023, inclusive, consisting of 43 weeks or 7,296 training periods, effective 05 December 2023.
The top one of the class is no other than Probationary Second Lieutenant Karen E. Dio, Philippine Army, who hails from Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. She is the 2nd Battalion Physical Training and Education Officer, Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army. Being the top one, she will receive the Presidential Sabre for Excellence to be awarded by Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary, Department of National Defense. She is also a recipient of the Physical Proficiency Award for Female category, to be awarded by Colonel Julius A. Cabarloc, Masters in National Security Administration, Infantry, Chief of Staff, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army. She will also receive a pistol to be given by Brigadier General Vincent B. Incognito, the Integrated Chairperson of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Officer Candidate School, Alumni Association.
For the top two, we have Probationary Second Lieutenant Annalyn O. Garcia, Philippine Army, from Bagong Bayan, Sultan Kudarat. She is the Honor Committee Chairman of the Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army. She will receive the Secretary of National Defense Sabre for Excellence to be awarded by Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary, Department of National Defense.
Top 3 of the class is Probationary Second Lieutenant Urduha May C. Cuino, Philippine Army, from Tubigon, Bohol. She is the Documentation Committee Head and a Yearbook Committee member of the Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army. She will receive the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Sabre for Excellence Award. To be awarded by General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Top 4 of the class, Probationary Second Lieutenant Dave Anthony A. Lorejo, Philippine Army, from Governor Generoso, Davao Oriental. He is the Brigade Commander of the Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army. He will receive the Commanding General, Philippine Army, Sabre for Excellence Award, to be awarded by Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Commanding General, Philippine Army. He will also receive the Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, Leadership Sabre Award, to be awarded by Major General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army.
For the top 5 we have Probationary Second Lieutenant Sara Vanessa I. Vera, Philippine Army, from Ragay, Camarines Sur. She is the Personal Officer of Alpha Company, Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army.
Top 6 of the class, Probationary Second Lieutenant Arlene J. Palapas, Philippine Army, from Kalinan, Davao City. She is the Personnel Officer of the 1st Battalion, Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army.
Top 7 of the class is Probationary Second Lieutenant Ulysses S. Pisto, Philippine Army, from Itogon, Benguet. He is the Executive Officer of Delta Company, Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army.
Top 8 of the class, Probationary Second Lieutenant Verlex G. Albelda, Philippine Army, from Nabunturan, Davao de Oro.
The class top 9 is Probationary Second Lieutenant Benedict M. Bilog, Philippine Army, from Irisan, Baguio City. He is the Engineering Committee Head and a member of the Speaker's Board, Arts and Design, and Editorial Board.
And the top 10 of the class is no other than Probationary Second Lieutenant Jimwell Cum Ereje from Matalam, North Cotabato. He is a yearbook committee member.
And for the special award, Probationary Second Lieutenant Joel P. Tabanganay, Jr., Philippine Army. He is the Training and Education Officer of the 1st Battalion, Officer Candidate Corps, Philippine Army. He will receive the Physical Proficiency Award for the male category to be awarded by Colonel Julius A. Cabarloc, Masters in National Security Administration, Infantry, Chief of Staff, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Darben E. Amne, San Miguel, Surigao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alf Bobby B. Abole, Tinglayan, Kalinga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Freddy C. Absalon, Iriga City, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Neil Aldrin M. Abuan, Carmen Agusan del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Luke Miko Agosto, Tagbilaran, Bohol. Probationary Second Lieutenant Joseph M. Agukay, Dagami, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Prince Clyde C. Agustin, Rizal, Kalinga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Karil Franchet C. Alambatin, Philippine Army, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kenneth Brian G. Alangkas, San Miguel, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Bill Weiser G. Alaud, Villanueva, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Elmer Jake F. Alerta, Malaybalay City, Bukidnon.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Marvin F. Aligan, Philippine Army, Laur, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Denver D. Alimorong, Makati City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jonaliza L. Almais, Bacolod City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alpheus Joseph C. Anadia, Hinoong City, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Paul Owen S. Añano, Taguig City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Joseph D. Andres, Taguig City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kurt John P. Anacito, Sipalay City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gideon Jez C. Antonio, Kapas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jimuel R. Apolonio, Makati City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jonel G. Apostol, Aliaga, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Menard U. Aponte, Himamaylan City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Michael Angelo A. Apostol, Takurong City, Sultan Kudarat.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Jerain Patrick C. Aquino, Cabacan, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Mig A. Aquino, Quezon City. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Arthur E. Arcardo, San Pedro, Laguna. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alvin J. A. Arcelius, Lala Lanutilote. Probationary Second Lieutenant Dexter L. Arizala, Butuan City, Agusan del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeric M. Arugante, Tarangnan, Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rona F. L. Archaga, Kadingilan, Bukidnon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Efren L. Asuncion, Herona, Tarlac.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Kim M. Atibula, Tacloban City, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ayana Don S. Atis, Zamboanga City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Felisberto Reed C. Avestruz, Barugo, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Marpol V. Balasa, Iloilo City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ace Adrian C. Balugtod, Lapuyan, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeriza May B. Bantayan, Santa Fe, Nueva Vizcaya. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gerald Banzuela, Tanay, Rizal. Probationary Second Lieutenant Arke Ian V. Barcelo, Pantabangan, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alexis May R. Barit, Alicia Isabela. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Dave J. Barrientos, Las Navas, Northern Samar.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeremy V. Baroga, Gimba, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant Cariel E. Barsenal, Tangob City, Misamis Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Hale C. Bation, Baruy, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christine V. Bautista, Lala, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Aldwin B. Bilano, Naga City, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Leonel Christopher C. Belsinia, Sindangan, Zamboanga del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant J.B. P. Benedicto, Gimba, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant Bernard U. Bingel Jr., Himamaylan City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Robbie R. Blanco, OP Maguindanao. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jessica G. Blando, Santa Margarita, Samar.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Gregorio R. Blaquera, Candon City, Ilocos Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Paul M. Bongalos, Shocon, Zamboanga del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Francis Roy G. Bongato, Compostela, Davao de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark D. Borleo, Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Junel R.V. Pribina, Villacananga, Butuan City. Probationary Second Lieutenant G. Rich R. Bulido, Mandaue City, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Raigal P. Bunsay, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Isagani II R. Kaasi, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Vincent B. Cacho, Manawag, Pangasinan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ace D. Kagiwa, Lupao, Nueva Ecija.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Amisham Y. Cahote, Dumalinaw, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ariel C. Calimpon, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Randy Bien P. Capistrano, Dumalinaw, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Arnel O. Capuyan Jr., Talisay City, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Januel Q. Carino, Coronadal City, South Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Efraim B. Kaasi, Florida Blanca, Pampanga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jester D. Castillo, Bacolod City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Tom James D. Castillo, Atimonan, Quezon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Nixon P. Katapang, Borongan City, Eastern Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mervin S. Catustos, Payaw, Zamboanga, Sibugay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeff Angel B. Silario, Kamiling, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Julius G. Cornell, Valencia City, Bukidnon.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Anthony I. Corpus, Lambayong, Suntan Kudarat. Probationary Second Lieutenant Deutsch Mark D. 40, Allen, Northern Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lovely D. Quizon, Baroy, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian M. Dalisay, Taguig, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jefferson C. Dandoy, Dimataling, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Joy G. M. Daciado, Butuan City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ricky B. Dakipil, Pantukan, Davao de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Adolf N. Dasalya, Gimba, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Reggie B. De Castro, Ibaan, Batangas. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian P. De Guzman, Santa Rosa, Nueva Ecija.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Lovenco N. De Guzman Jr., Gimba, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant Winifredo Dedal Jr., Inupacan, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Benbers B. De La Cruz, Medellin, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Louis D. De La Cruz, Malig, Isabela. Probationary Second Lieutenant Dina Flor T. De La Peña, Hagunoy, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant J. Lowy K. Delgado, Bourbon, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kestrel Iris R. Del Monte, Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Angel N. Demilio, Marabot, Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kevin G. Dena, Tabuk City, Kalinga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jesse Adrian D. De Lima, Naga City, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Urim D. Dion, San Francisco, Agusan del Sur.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Hilron M. Jokno, Camp Evangelista Patag, Cagayan de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Angelo C. D., Maasin City, Southern Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Clyde Anthony G. Donaire, Pavia, Iloilo. Probationary Second Lieutenant Leo N. Donato, San Jose City, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant Peter John C. Doroteo, Kulasi, Antique. Probationary Second Lieutenant Arthur John D. Dumalagan, Maasin City, Southern Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Franz Resti B. Eduaba, Talaingod, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Avery B. Elevado, Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya. Probationary Second Lieutenant Hasmin C. Emanel, Ipil, Zamboanga, Sibugay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alvin R. Enamno, Claveria, Cagayan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kimberly Shine A. Enate, Tupi, South Cotabato.
Probationary Second Lieutenant LJ Anthony F. Enriquez, Zamboanga City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Zandro T. Encha, Cebu City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lexter Nino C. Ermita, Balingasag, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Levin Kurt B. Esparagoza, Sebaste Antique. Probationary Second Lieutenant Carlo Paul T. Espino, Santa Rita, Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian C. Esterosa, Pamplona, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Nestor N. Etis Jr., Pasay City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian S. Yuliran, Talisay City, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gerald O. Fabricante, Gitagum, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Shai Marie G. Fahilagutan, Fort Bonifacio, Metro Manila.
Probationary Second Lieutenant J.V. S. Farnazo, Norala, South Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Clyde Darwin G. Fernandez, Calbayog City, Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Louis L. Fernandez, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Von Kenneth B. Flores, New Corella, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Frieds May V. Frias, Iloilo City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Elmer Fortes, Tolosa, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Nestle John O. Fuyonan, Cuartero, Capiz. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alfred B. Gabas, Danau City, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Josiah Andre Gabe, Malolos, Bulacan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Genesis M. Gamboa, Capas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Dex Angelo Gano, Banawe, Ifugao. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jomar E. Gargar, Tagoloan, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Rigo C. Gartalia, Cotabato City, Maguindanao.
General officers na lang sa ilagay.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Gerald C. Gasahan, Claveria, Misamis Oriental.
At this moment, our guest of honor and speaker, together with the general officers, may please take your seats as we reminisce the time that the graduating class began their journey from application to the Philippine Army until their admission in the Officer Candidate School through the class history of the Officer Candidate course, Talahiraya, Class 59-2023. Joining the profession of arms is not an easy choice. Taking that path demands the utmost dedication, discipline, and proficiency. It is foolish to think that one could go through the entire officer candidate course without so much as a scratch. Although many are called to venture the less traveled path of a military officer, only a few are chosen, and fewer will remain and emerge triumphant in the end. In the quest to achieve supremacy over oneself, we, who were initially diamonds in the rough, came together to endure and survive the grueling challenge of training, armed only with our guts and wits, to prepare ourselves physically and mentally for the real challenges in the field that we will have to hurdle as future leaders of the Army. As graduates of the Philippine Army Officer Candidate School, we can attest that the institution has proven its worth, as that the institution is a reliable source of competent leaders that our nation can trust. We have many reasons for choosing the profession of arms: a key to stable employment, a chance to fulfill a genuine calling to serve the country, an opportunity to live to the family traditions, or a way to redemption. Whatever our motivations may be, we are united by a single purpose that is embodied by the Officer Candidate Course 59-2023 class name, Talahiraya. Talahiraya means tagapagtanggol ng lahi ng mga hinirang at responsableng aagapay para sa bayan. The name Talahiraya combines the words Tala, which means the stars that guide us through the darkness of the night, and Hiraya means the fruit of our hopes and dreams. Hiraya in itself comes from the ancient Tagalog phrase, Hiraya Manawari, which translates as may the wishes of one's heart be granted. With such inspiration, the Officer Candidate Course Class 59-2023 Talahiraya will persevere until the hopes and dreams of the future second lieutenants turn into reality as they deliver on their purpose of serving the people and securing the land. With divine guidance, the right path will be ensured. That has been the Officer Candidate Course Talahiraya, Class 59-2023 Class History. A round of applause, please.
History of Officer Candidate School. General Douglas MacArthur was tasked to organizing the Army of the Philippines in 1935. To achieve this, he envisioned the simultaneous development of both regular and reserve forces. Without limited funds, he directed the establishment of service schools in 1936. On June 19, 1936, the Reserve Officer Service School was established in Camp Allen in Baguio pursuant to Commonwealth Act No. 1, purposely to produce officers for the Army training centers. It admitted 175 probationary third lieutenants that were graduates of the UP ROTC program, shortened into 2-month utility numbers of the Philippine Military Academy, and as training cards of newly established officer service school around the Philippines.
In July 1937, School for Reserve Commission was established with different branches in Camp Ordinal, Pilar, and Camp Kirtley. The trainees of this school were for former senior NCOs of the Army. Ross was renamed as Reserve Officer Training School in 1939, which continued to function until the outbreak of the war. Both schools, ROTC and SRS, existed until December 1941. The Ground Combat School of the Philippine Army School Center, Philippine Army Training Command, pursuant to AFP. General Headquarters, General Order Number 412, located in Front McKinley, continued the officer pre-entry training in 1947 to 1954. Later, the School for Reserve Commission was reopened in 1954 to resume training for reserve officers until its deactivation in 1959. In the next 16 years, the school gradually faded away into oblivion.
At this juncture, may we request our guest of honor and speaker, together with the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Commanding General, Philippine Army, the Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, and the Commandant of the Officer Candidate School, Philippine Army, to please take their posts as we continue with the distribution of the certificates for our graduates.
Probationary Second Lieutenant John Rain Christian Gavina, Magalang, Pampanga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jonard P. Gayo Jr., Tubao, La Union. Probationary Second Lieutenant Robert John S. Jimentiza, Mainit, Surigao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Reward P. Himoto, General Santos, South Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant R.J. Vincent D. Gonzaga, Pagadian City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Joseph D. Grospe, Concepcion, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeffrey June S. Gudoy, Santa Niño, Cagayan Valley. Probationary Second Lieutenant Adrian D. Hernandez, Rosario, Batangas. Probationary Second Lieutenant Bernadette Lee D. Holiero, Pulumulok, South Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Shanna P. Insular, South UP, Maguindanao. Probationary Second Lieutenant Juriza B. Haralve, Dipolog City, Zamboanga del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Albenazar A. Gimlano, Salog, Zamboanga del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Sansen Wagpao Jr., Cortes, Surigao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian J. R. Juan, Rena Mercedes Isabela. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alan Japet T. Judith, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alaysa Gay L. Husay, Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rod Eugenio S. Huzon, Capas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Angelica M. Cabigting, Quezon City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lena J. B. Calyawin, Malaybalay, Bukidnon.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Pearly S. Kilat, Zamboanga City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Carlo T. Kimayo, Itogon, Benguet. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ryan Hector A. Labidon, Tukuran, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Patricia Labra, Ormoc Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jesse S. La Cuarta, Taytay Rizal. Probationary Second Lieutenant Romel L. Lanoy, Panabo City, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Laarne D. Laureto, Lugait, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Roen J. T. Lavetoria, San Jose, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Florence Roy S. Legaspi, Bacoor City, Cavite. Probationary Second Lieutenant Von John V. Lituanias, Balingoan, Misamis Oriental.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Dino D. Lubaton, Mlang, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Noel Ken T. Lumok, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Danilo Lorenzana Jr., Alilim, Ilocos Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Brix Lucero, Badok, Ilocos Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Vianviv D. Mabag, Tacloban, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Raymond A. Mabanta, Golden Duranta, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant June Joseph M. Madla, Jose Panganiban, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kenneth V. Magallanes, Carmen, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kenneth V. Maitom, Bugus City, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Amiel Jonathan M. Malimban, Tanay Rizal. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gerson M. Manzanas, Bayugan City, Agusan del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gabriel B. Mapilit Jr., Tagum City, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Norman F. Masinda, New Washington, Angklan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Chris John Melgar, Mawab, Davao de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Patrick Menjola, Malolos City, Bulacan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Donin Nico B. Miranya, Las Navas, Northern Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Carl Hernan G. Miranda, Haro Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mikhail Warren M. Mitchell, Valenzuela City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Peter Paul Monreal, President Rojas, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Julius E. Montaño, Bacolod City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Harvey Kyle M. Mortejo, Hingog City, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Johype D. Musa, Kabakan, Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian N. Naga, Santa Fe, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jonathan T. Ningas, Pasig City, Metro Manila.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Gio Christian Onosiliado, Ginobatan, Albay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Anthony P. Norbe, Carmen, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark Angelo C. Notario, San Fernando, Camarines Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lyle James C. Ochimar, Caloocan City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Larry S. Olipas, Tayug, Pangasinan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Aubrey P. Opiana, Ginobatan, Albay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Raul A. Oray Jr., Barongan City, Eastern Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant David Jeffraim D. Orodio, Rizal, Kalinga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Tricia Joy E. Ortiz, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian Padernal, Lipa City, Batangas. Probationary Second Lieutenant Espirato T. Palado Jr., Malaybalay City, Bukidnon. Probationary Second Lieutenant James S. Palmes, Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Francis P. Palparan, Bacolod City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rusty Panlita, Baclayon, Bohol. Probationary Second Lieutenant Juliet N. Pascual, Capas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kent A. Perez, Corondal City, South Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Chris Joseph G. Perez, San Jose, Occidental Mindoro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Daniel M. Permangil, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Albert Firlan M. Petiluna, Mahayag, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Daryl P. Piador, Valencia City, Bukidnon.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Joshua M. Pedere, Burauen, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kate Lorraine J. Pineda, Mitsayap, Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian J. M. Pugawon, La Trinidad, Benguet. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Louis D. Pontero, Dasmariñas, Cavite. Probationary Second Lieutenant Sharla Amethyst, T. Pugaw, Tabuk City, Kalinga. Probationary Second Lieutenant Neil John J. Kilujano, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Xavier M. Quinto, Davao City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rose U. Raca, Kamalanigan, Cagayan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christ Dan James K. Ramiso, Kabasalan, Zamboanga, Sibugay.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Arnulfo D. Ramones Jr., Isabela City, Basilan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Aren Lee U. Reblando, Taguig City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Erica G. Recamara, Asuncion, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alvin E. Recanya, Tagum City, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Aldrin Regio, General Luna, Quezon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jobel May P. Rejalde, OWAS, Albay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Precious Elaine M. Rioveros, Polangi, Albay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian Paul Requinala, Ginobatan, Albay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Mark V. Rillion, Ilagan City, Isabela. Probationary Second Lieutenant Reed G. Rizare, Sipalay City, Negros Occidental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Stephen D. Rubino, Tibiao, Antique. Probationary Second Lieutenant Charlotte Grace N. Rumbawa, Dupax del Norte, Nueva Vizcaya.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Matthew Van Michel P. Sabinay, Asuncion, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jeremiah Ezekiel M. Sakay, Parañaque City. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Morris Patrick S. Salado, Malalag, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ray Christian G. Salazar, Capas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jaira Rose C. Saldana, Macu, Davao de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gabriel Saduldar, Santa Fe, Cebu. Probationary Second Lieutenant Cyril June N. Sandoval, Orion, Bataan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jaymar D. Sanguila, Margo sa Tubig, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christian Andrew A. Santander, Talaingod, Davao del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Philmar Santor, Parañaque City.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Sukarno M. Sawil, Pikit, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Alfred A. Segobre, Maasim, Iloilo. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Michael P. Seno, Malaybalay City, Bukidnon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jory I. Sindatok, Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Daniel Gabriel Sturm, San Isidro, Nueva Ecija. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Luis T. Swalog, Palo, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Luigi Robert F. Sumailo, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Adrian G. Taba, Tigbawan, Iloilo. Probationary Second Lieutenant Arthur C. Taburada, Aurora, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Christopher L. Taburnal, Cananga, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rudy Mark Q. Takang, Kabagan, Isabela. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Lloyd B. Taclob, Sergio Osmeña, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rayel G. Taladua, Davao City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Gayo Fabian N. Tan, Pastrana, Leyte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rianzi Jane A. Tan, Makati City, Metro Manila. Probationary Second Lieutenant Hyacinth M. Tapa, Tuguegarao City, Cagayan Valley. Probationary Second Lieutenant Virgil R. Tejillo, Dolores, Eastern Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Paul T. Teodoro, Gataran, Cagayan. Probationary Second Lieutenant Isagani M. Tesorio, Nagtipunan, Quirino. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jerome M. Tibus, Capas, Tarlac. Probationary Second Lieutenant Amil J. R. Timbal, Patag, Cagayan de Oro. Probationary Second Lieutenant Nicolay G. Tindugan, Imus City, Cavite. Probationary Second Lieutenant Ronil P. Tipanero, Pinan, Zamboanga del Norte. Probationary Second Lieutenant Josel Brian B. Tolentino, Iloilo City.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Raymond M. Tumutong, Tungawan, Zamboanga, Sibugay. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lorenzo N. Oy, Catbalogan City, Samar. Probationary Second Lieutenant Elise Kent B. Valencia, Aracan North, Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant Billy Joel B. Valenzuela, Baguio City, Benguet. Probationary Second Lieutenant Raymark J. M. Valenzuela, Los Baños, Laguna. Probationary Second Lieutenant Jose L. Vallecera, Baungon, Bukidnon. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rizzo P. Varquez, Davao City, Davao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Kevin John P. Vasquez, Caguayat, Surigao del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant John Hale M. Villaflor, Aurora, Zamboanga del Sur. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lucille Ann P. Villo, Sibulan, Negros Oriental. Probationary Second Lieutenant Olsen C. Viloria, Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija.
Probationary Second Lieutenant Richard N. Waknisen Jr., La Trinidad, Benguet. Probationary Second Lieutenant Rochelle C. Huayno, Pigcawayan, North Cotabato. Probationary Second Lieutenant K.B. Ibio, Zamboanga City. Probationary Second Lieutenant Franklin John Lenjo, Polomolok, South Cotabato.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause to our graduates and awardees.
At this point, we will now proceed with the oath-taking of the graduates as they become the members of the Officer Candidate School Alumni Association Incorporated. The oath-taking will be administered by Brigadier General Vincent B. Incognito, Philippine Air Force, Integrated Chairman, Officer Candidate School Alumni Association.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do hereby solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my knowledge and ability the duties and obligations as member of the Officer Candidate School Alumni Association Incorporated. That I will uphold its Constitution, support its bylaws, as well as the rules and regulations promulgated thereof. To all these, I do most solemnly swear, with a steady purpose to perform the same, without mental reservation, So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
May we call the valedictorian of the class officer candidate course, Talahiraya, class 59-2023. Probationary Second Lieutenant, Karen E. Dio, Philippine Army, to deliver her message.
To our Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., sir. To our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Bronner Jr., sir. To our Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, sir. To the Commanding General of Training and Doctrine Command, Major General Luis Rex Bergante, sir. To our Commandant, Colonel Harold M. Cabunok, sir. All officers and NCOs present, distinguished guests, beloved parents, ladies and gentlemen, mayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Graduation Day is undoubtedly a momentous event in our lives, marking the culmination of our hard work, dedication, and personal growth. If I were to encounter myself 11 months ago, this day would have seemed so far. However, delivering this speech in front of you proves otherwise. This profound occasion brings forth a range of emotions: pride for what has been achieved, excitement for what lies ahead, and gratitude towards those who have supported us throughout our journey. It is a wonderful opportunity to take a moment and express our gratitude to God for the achievements and blessings that we have received. I invite each of you to identify your loved ones on stage. While focusing on them, place your right hand over your chest and echo these words after me. Sa mga magulang at mahal ko sa buhay, salamat. Ang tagumpay ko ay para sa inyo. Baba kamay. Numerous individuals, both men and women, applied from various islands across our nation. However, as the saying goes, many are called, but few are chosen. It all commenced on December 20, 2022, a time when COVID was at its peak and we were all enduring isolation. Yet this did not deter the rigorous reception and the most challenging phase every officer candidate must undergo. It is a phase of adaptation and adjustment from a carefree civilian to the demands placed on every soldier. It helped instill an appreciation for the small things in life and catalyzed maturity. The next stages involved incorporation and recognition. During this time, nothing is sweeter than hearing our parents' voices after months of not being able to use phones. There's no greater satisfaction than marching off after extended periods of standing. And nothing is more fulfilling than completing a full meal in Lucero Hall. And the sweetest moment comes from settling in between two sheets after a long day's work. Marami na tayong pinagdaanan. Sama-sama tayo sa hirap at ginhawa. Yung kahit low moral ka na, pagtingin mo sa mukha ng katabi mo, natatawa ka na. Now, I want you to tap the person at your right at sabihin mong, Bok, nakakasawa na ang pagmumukha mo. Now tap the person at your left at sabihin mong, pero proud ako sa yubok. Our time here at the Officer Candidate School as students is finally coming to an end with the realization that life is merely a fleeting reflection of our desires. To my classmates, as the new breed of officers of the Philippine Army, there are significant points we must always remember. First is the importance of making sound decisions and recognizing the significance of every role. The absence of one can tip the scales against the success of the unit. Before assuming leadership, learn to follow orders guided by your moral compass. Second, we must always seek to contribute to the unit positively and nurture our acquaintances and men. The choice of personnel is key to a successful system. Knowing the people around us helps build genuine relationships with others that hold far greater importance than the influence of ranks and titles ever could. I'm confident that as a member of the Talahiraya Class 59, we are ready to conquer the challenges that we will be facing as we leave the premises of this school. Wag na wag nating kalimutan, service is the reason why we are here. Thank you, ug maayong hapon sa tanan.
Thank you, ma'am, for that inspiring message.
At this juncture, may we call on Colonel Harold M. Cabunok, Infantry, Masters in Military Defense Studies, Initial Military Training Center, Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army, to present a memento to our guest of honor and speaker. And now, may we call on General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, to introduce to us our guest of honor and speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pride to introduce our guest of honor and speaker for this afternoon's graduation ceremony, the Secretary of the Department of National Defense, the Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. And will the new graduates assume tikas pahinga, please? Thank you very much to our esteemed Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Bronner Jr. for the very kind introduction. To our Commanding General, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, Major General Luis Rex Bergante, the Commander, TRADOC, Brigadier General Vince Incognito, Philippine Air Force, the Chairman of the AFP Officer Candidate School Alumni Association, to my idol, Colonel Harold Cabunok, the Commandant of the Officer Candidate School,
Command Sergeant Major Ferdinand Lascano, the members of the Philippine Army OCS Talahiraya, Class 59 of 2023, officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resources of the Philippine Army TRADOC. And I would also like to greet Major General Palafox, who is also here. And the other general and senior officers present. Mga kamag-anak at magulang, relatives, proud parents, siblings of the graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa kanilang lahat. Unang-una po, pinaabot ko po ang taus-pusong congratulations at pagbati ng ating Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., sa mga bagong kaanib ng Philippine Army, Talahiraya Class 59, 2023. And I'm sure he would send his congratulations to those who were responsible for molding these officers into what they are now from raw officer candidate recruits. I recall the last graduation in Camp Aguinaldo, there were about 103, and now there are 288 graduates. And so our fill-up rate for second lieutenants is encouragingly increasing. But more interesting for me and more notable for me to point out is that yesterday po and the past week is a gender awareness month. And yesterday was Prevention of Violence Against Women Week. But to note, of the 5 top graduates of this class, 4 are female. And so, statistically speaking, the weighted average performance of female graduates of 50 out of the total of 288 is arithmetically more significant than those of males. So I challenge the male officer candidates now to live up and to match the performance of your female counterparts. Not only that, our graduates, for example, Lieutenant Dio, sa magna cum laude graduate of electrical engineering. Probationary Second Lieutenant Garcia is an information technology graduate. Probationary Second Lieutenant Cuino is a major in management accounting. Probationary Second Lieutenant Lorejo is a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, major in mathematics. And our 5th graduate is a Bachelor of Science, Probationary Second Lieutenant Vera, is a Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Biotechnology from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Those are the top 5. And the demographic shows we have 17 cum laude graduates, 3 magna cum laude graduates, 1 academic awardee, and 2 dean's listers. So, honor roll, marami po ito. Ngayon, ang gusto ko pong ipahiwatig sa kanilang lahat. Ang dami pa po nilang engineer, marami yung piloto, maraming criminologists, electronics technicians, teachers, geodetic engineers. Ang gusto po nating ipahiwatig sa makabagong sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas, for the new armed forces of the Philippines, these kinds of technical skills are necessary for us to form the core of a capabilities-based, forward-thinking armed forces with new technologies and with new human resource capabilities in order to manage the asymmetric threats and the varied threats and challenges to national security. Matatanong po natin, ano po ang importansya ng agricultural biotechnology sa sandatahang lakas? Baka ito pong siyensya na ito ay makakatuklas ng lunas sa mga biochemicals na gamitin po ng kung sino man gustong makalaban sa ating bansa. Pangalawa po, malay natin magkaroon din po ng iba't ibang programa ng research and development, katulad din po ng ating mga kawayan, mga abaka, and other carbon fiber materials or other resin-based materials na pwedeng protection devices ng ating mga tao. So, sila po, ang multidisciplinary skills po nila ay magiging basihan. Hindi lamang po sa research and development. Marami din po dyan accountants. Management ng ating resources, marami pong engineer, program management, and sustainability ng ating mga programa, IT, sa cyber natin, at saka sa management information. Kaya po, ito po ay napaka-importanteng mga kaanib sa bagong sandatahang lakas. At kami po ay magkukulang. We will lack a sense of gratitude to those who put these new officers to be to school. Because rather than choose another job, they chose to serve their country. And ang dedikasyon na yan, hindi lang po galing sa kanila yan, galing sa paghubog ng mga magulang at paghubog ng pamilya. Finally, I congratulate the Philippine Army for its recruitment program in being able to recruit such a varied pool of talent which will serve the armed forces we envision in the future. And lastly, since there are members of the media, rest assured that the Department of Defense and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, pursuant to the instructions of His Excellency the President, shall be undeterred by any threats to national security and will vigorously, together with the Philippine National Police, go after and put to justice perpetrators of heinous crimes in our country, and will be steadfast in protecting our territorial integrity and national sovereignty. To the graduates, I expect top-notch performance from all of you, given your academic records and your performance in the past. This is just the beginning of your responsibilities of leading persons and performing important tasks to contribute to national defense. So I wish you well. May God bless each and every one of you and your families. Godspeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary, Department of National Defense, for the very inspiring message. Rest assured that the lessons you have imparted will be kept and observed. Please be seated.
At this juncture, please rise for the singing of the OCS hymn.
Hail to thy OCS, oh, hail to thee. With loyal hearts to homage we try to the years we come to gain. Pray God to lead our way, thy sons in meekness bow their heads. With faces of peace and to sing. Oh, hail to thy name, OCS. Hail to thy OCS. Oh, hail to you. Our beacon, thy wisdom shall be as light to guide us on our way. Wherever we shall be, and when the Lord of land and sea, Lord us and heaven sing, will sing. Oh, hail to thy name, OCS. Hail to thy OCS. Oh, hail to you. Our beacon, thy wisdom shall be as light to guide us on our way. Wherever we shall be, and when the Lord of land and sea, Lord us and heaven sing, will sing. Oh, hail to thy name,
Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Once again, congratulations to the graduates.
Mabuhay ang Class Talahiraya!
Mabuhay ang pangkat OCS.
Mabuhay ang pangkat Trado! Mabuhay ang hukbong katihan ng Pilipinas!